What's going on, guys? Today we have I'm gonna say a new sight, but it's a sight they've offered, the Osight S, but it's in a new color. It's in their OD green. You can see that right there. It's essentially the same dot as the Osight S, just a different color. And I do like OD green and FDEs and different colors like that. And I threw it on this black pistol so it would kind of highlight the dot and you could see it a little bit better. And just like the Osight S that I reviewed in the past, this is going to be essentially the same thing. It does have the charging cover. You can press this button. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it does have like a green indicator that goes around to tell you how much charge you have in the light. Now, when this is off, you can also hit the button. It'll tell you how much charge you have in this. This is essentially like a power bank for your phone, but for the optic. You can charge this, and if you don't have a power cable, you can just throw this on your dot, and this will actually charge your dot without any, source of power. Now, it does have a spherical lens. It's like fully enclosed, so it protects it from the element. You don't have to worry about like dirt and debris and stuff getting down in the emitter and not being able to actually emit the dot. In this case, it's got a 2 MOA dot with a 32 MOA circle around it, which I do prefer in pistols. Rifles, I don't really matter to me about that, but in pistols, I do prefer the circle dot. It seems to be a little bit quicker for me to actually find that dot if I have a circle dot for pistols. You can still use it without, you can use a dot, but I do find it a little quicker if I have the circle dot. One thing I do want to say, a lot of people worry about brightness settings. This dot is very bright, just like the other Osight S. I took it outside yesterday, bright conditions, held it, not directly at the sun, but towards the direction of the sun. I actually had to turn it down. It actually got bright enough, and I was like, that's too much. I think I turned it down 2 or 3 settings. As of right now, you can see the sun is kind of right there, and plenty enough bright to actually be able to see it outside. I know some other dots don't get bright enough for direct sunlight, or you may have a hard time seeing them, but all of Osight's dots that I've ever seen, or Olight Osight dots that I've ever seen, I've never had an issue with that. Now, there is one thing I do want to cover real quick. Olight will be having a sale. There'll be a couple of links below that you can go to. One will be Amazon and one will be the Olight's website. You can pick these things up on sale, 20% off, and that'll be from April 14th at 8 p.m. until April the 18th at 11:59 p.m. Again, links in the description below. Without further ado, let me put a few shots down range. I need to sight this in. I put it on my Sig X Macro. I do like this little gun. I actually think I like this little gun better than I do the Legion. I just seem to shoot it better. So I threw this dot on it because the dot I had on it wasn't fully enclosed. And I want a fully enclosed dot on it, so this dot will live on this gun probably forever. But let me show you first shots. I'll sight in. We'll do an accuracy test on it, which I've not shot in a minute. It's been a while. I don't like the cold weather, and it's starting to warm up here again, so I'll probably do a little bit more shooting, but it's been several months since I've shot very much, so my accuracy may be diminished, so don't judge me on that, and definitely don't judge the optic. But let me show you first shots, and then we'll get on with accuracy. Okay, guys, first shots. I don't know what you can tell from an optic from first shots, but it's actually fairly sighted in. I'm going to tweak it just a little bit, but I was really surprised at how sighted it's in. Now, it's not going to be that way with every pistol. I just kind of got lucky with this one. We're probably about 8 or 10 yards. I think 10 yards had a little bit of a slight slope to it. You can see some trees back here. The hurricane come through and knocked a bunch of trees down. Some of them ain't cleared out yet, so I can't really get where I used to shoot. And 10 yards is a little slope, so it's probably about 8, but it's actually pretty sighted in. One more thing I wanted to mention while we're talking about it is it does have a rear sight made into it. So if you're putting this on a pistol that actually loses its rear sight, which I cannot stand, you do actually have a rear sight made into this. So that is a good thing. One other thing I want to throw out there, if you have tools from like other manufacturers, I don't think they'll fit these little screws. So I think if you're going to the range and you think, hey, I've got XYZ tool, make sure you bring the Olight Osight tool to make sure you can adjust your optic. I just wanted to throw that in there. All right, guys, worked on getting used to the trigger a little bit. That first time was horrible, but I hadn't shot this gun in a while. Worked on getting it's sighted in now. If I don't do it now, it's me, because they all touched there a second ago. Pulled two. We're still gonna show it to you. All right, I pulled two. There a minute ago, I put them all in the same dang hole. Right here, 3 touching, 2 flyers left. I'm not gonna do it again. The first time was way worse than that. And then I threw another target up and I was like, I'm gonna get used to this trigger because that's bad. And just ripped out the center and then did that. So it's just the way it is sometimes. But optic is sighted in. All right, guys, there you have it. The new OD Green Osight S. Really like this optic. Like I said, it's going to stay on this gun. Definitely not the optic's fault because I ripped the center out there a minute ago. It's my fault for throwing that string of fire up there. But I really like this little optic. Again, fully enclosed. So go pick these up while the sale is going on, because I do not think you'll be disappointed. I've never had a problem with mine. I have many Olight lights and optics, and I've just never had a problem actually with any of them. I know you hear stuff on the internet, but me personally, and I have a lot, and I carry an Olight every single day to work, a flashlight, and it gets beat up with no issues. I think you're good to go with the Osight S. This fully enclosed optic seems very durable, very solid, and I like the recharging option that you have with it. Again, I appreciate you guys watching the videos. The links will be in the description below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Love you guys. We'll see you next time.